I'm Dana, and a little while ago I made a video that was called Is it autism or am I weird? It's a little question that I have about a lot of things that I've done and things that I do, and a bunch of you guys seem to relate and understand, and it made me feel a hell of a lot less weird, because there's so many things that I do where I'm like, I know other people don't do this. I don't know if it's because I'm autistic or if I'm just being weird. But from a lot of the comments that I got, a lot of it, if not autistic traits, they're shared by a lot of autistic people, and it made me feel a lot better, and hopefully it makes you feel better too, knowing that there's loads of us are doing this stuff. You're not weird, you're not odd, you're not alone. You know, there's lots of us. Everyone's so scared of being seen as weird. Like, not everyone, but most people are really scared of being seen as weird, myself included. We don't often talk about the things that we're embarrassed about or ashamed of or, you know, think are weird. And I'm the person doing it now. So it's really nice when you guys relate. I'll link my last one up here and let's get into it. So my first one is that I have all of my memories like a movie. I see myself in my memories. Like when I think back on whatever I want to remember, I very much see it playing out like a film or a movie or a TV show or something, you know? I'm not watching it from my eyes. I'm watching it like from the corner of the room, seeing what people are doing, seeing what I'm doing. I get some good shots sometimes. It can have quite good cinematography, but it's odd, you know? It's really weird, because I realised when I was about 12 that other people like remember things predominantly, as far as I'm aware, as the way it happened, like from their perspective. And I don't. I have it from like third person over there. It's not my perspective. It's not the perspective of the other person. I'm just watching it happen when I remember things. And I thought most people did for the longest time, and then people started saying that they didn't, and I was like, oh, better shut up about that. But yeah, all of my memories, and it's, you know, it's kind of cool, because when I think back on like memories for me as a teenager, I very much see little teenage me doing those things. And when I think back on like a memory from 2 weeks ago, I see myself as I am now doing those things. And I guess it's a bit weird. But the real question is it autism or am I just weird? Next up, we've got, I don't do it so often anymore. It was mostly in my, like, I'd say from when I was about 15-ish to 21. So it was quite a while. But I had this whole thing where I would stare at myself in the mirror, and not like at my face or my body, like straight into my eyes. And like I said, I still occasionally do it. And it's almost like a hyperfixation. It's like some sort of hyperfocus overcomes me, and I'm staring into my own eyes, and I'm just like, holy cow, I live in this. Like this little like meat vessel that moves around, all these like tendons and bones and bits of gristle or whatever. That's me. That's everyone else that perceives me as a person, perceives this outwards appearance, this meat suit as me. And I've got these eyes and I see all these things with these eyes, but like no one else sees the things that I've seen. Everything that I've seen, only I've seen, you know? Everyone else has seen it from a different view, a different perspective, a different area. No one's seen the exact things I've seen. And it's all contained in here. Everyone's got this brain, and we just remember things and know things and have our whole entire lives in there. And like, it's probably just weird, but like I'd love to know if other people do that, because when I've described it, people immediately jump to thinking it's vanity, and it's like, no, I'm not looking at myself, you know? I'm not in any way judging my appearance or thinking like, oh, I look hot. I'm like, holy shit, I'm a fucking person and people see me. You know, I totally do have times that I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, God, my teeth look wonky and there's that thing wrong with my eye and I hate my face. But like when it's this specific situation, I'm not thinking about like if I'm hot or attractive or whatever in the slightest. It's a completely indifference to my appearance. It's purely fathoming the fact that I am a person and this is how other people see me. This is what I look like to other people. This is how I like exist in the world. It's a little existential, I suppose, but for the most part, I want to know, is it autism or am I just weird? Slightly less weird. I do think it's like a generally neurodivergent thing, but I really have to tell the same story multiple times. I love doing it. I really enjoy having multiple people to tell things to, because I love being able to just tell my shit, like my drama, my gossip, my like life tale, whatever it is. I love being able to like tell it to multiple people. And I used to not really realise that I did it. I'd tell someone the same thing and they'd be like, yeah, I know you told me, and I'd be like, shit, did I? And I keep much better track of it now, so I know that I'm telling different people the same story. But I could quite happily, like if someone was gonna listen to me and not interrupt me, like, I know, and get annoyed, I could quite happily just tell people the same like 15 little tales over and over again. And like they change like bi-monthly or whatever as new things have happened in my life. But it's, for a good period of time, it's gonna be the exact same thing just over and over. And I really like doing it. I very much enjoy it. Like, I should probably make more friends just so I have more people to tell my little stories to, you know? But is it autism or am I just weird? I have many viewing tendencies for television and movies that I think are probably a bit out of the norm. But the one I want to talk about today is if something really big or really relatable to me personally happens in a show, I have to pause it. And I keep myself back from doing it when other people are watching things with me because I know it'll be annoying. But like, for example, I watched The L Word with my girlfriend recently because that's what lesbians have to do, it's the rite of passage. So there's an episode where for like 10 seconds, Byers out of the X-Files is in The L Word, which greatly excited me as the little fucking nerd that I am. But like, if I hadn't been watching it with someone, I'd have paused it on his face and be like, oh my God, Byers from the X-Files is in The L Word, this is happening, he's there. And then resumed it. Or like, oh, spoilers, in The Bodyguard when Julia gets killed, I had to pause it and be like, Julia just died. Julia died. And then like take a few deep breaths and be like really upset because I love Keely Hawes. And then resume the show. And but I think it's the weirdest when it's a relatable thing. For example, Trust Me's recently been put on Disney Plus for those of you in the UK. I don't know if it's in other countries, but it's got Jodie Whittaker in, which is like why I watched it and why I think you should. But there's a part in, I think it was in season 2, where there's a bunch of doctors sat around a table discussing a patient that they're like having to send home help out to. And they're like, oh yeah, his room's like a shrine to Doctor Who. And they're like, oh yeah, well that's pretty standard for the autists, isn't it? And I had to pause it and be like, I'm watching this show purely because it has people out of Doctor Who in it. And now they're calling out autistic people for liking Doctor Who. Like, I just had to pause it and be like, oh, I've got to process this for a moment because I know that it's not really that humorous. I know it's not that funny, but I find things like that really funny. And I have to pause it and like process and be like, oh, I feel like represented by this show. Is it autism or am I just weird? This is another one that I think does most likely tie into autism. It's probably some sort of sensory thing that I haven't figured out yet. But I have to decorate my space. Like, ever since I was a little kid, my bedroom, my house, wherever I'm living, I have to decorate it. Like when my friends were going off to uni and being like, oh, I'm not allowed to put anything up on my walls or they're gonna charge me like £600. Charge me £600. There is no chance I'm living in a white box. I can't do it. I would just stare at the walls and fucking lose my mind and be really sad all the time. I absolutely thrive from my environment being a representation of who I am. I want people to be able to come into my house or my bedroom or whatever else and immediately be like, oh yeah, this is Dana. Because it's, I don't like people being in my space very often. I'm quite picky about who actually comes into my space. And I like to meet people like multiple times before inviting them over. So once they do come, I like to think that they know me like reasonably well. And I sort of like to feel like my room or like my house now or wherever I end up living at any point, I like to feel like they're getting like the rest of me. Like, here you go, here you get to know the rest of me now. This is like my safe space where it's me just like splurged up onto the walls and everywhere. It's me. Like as a room. And it drove my parents insane because we rented places. So then we're like, it comes to time to move and they're like, why the fuck have you just like nailed into the ceiling to hang a curtain off? And I'm like, because it looked cute and it made me feel safe. And they'd get really fucking mad at me and it was a whole thing. But yeah, I really thrive from having a space that I feel like represents who I am and expresses who I am. Is it autism or am I just weird? Next up, I can only listen to and fully enjoy a song once I know all the words. When I first listen to songs, I'll be like, this is fine, it's okay. Like even like brand new Foo Fighters songs and like musicians that I really adore, I'll listen to and be like, yeah, it's cool, it's real cool, huh? and it'll be like the 4th, 5th, 6th time that I listen to it when I actually like know the words and can sing along, that I'm like, oh god, this is a fucking bop, I love this song, this is a great song. But up until that point when I know the words, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. But I can't enjoy a song until I get to that point. I don't really know why. Which is why I'm asking you, is it autism or am I just weird? This is one of those where I'm like, it could be like a really common autistic thing, or it might just not be an autistic thing at all and I'm really weird. But when I'm gonna eat some food, I can look at the food and be like, okay, I know how it's gonna taste. I know how it's going to taste. I'm gonna eat it now, and if it doesn't taste like that, it's bad. I don't like it. If it doesn't taste the way that I've thought it's going to, because like when I'm thinking about it, I can almost taste it already. And especially when it's like food that I have a lot, I know how it's gonna taste. And if it doesn't taste like what I expected it to, I automatically don't like it, even if it's technically a nice taste. And this goes for like texture as well. Like, you know, when you get chocolates, let's say, and you bite into it expecting it to be like caramel on the inside, but then it's like some sort of really soft nougat or something, I can't eat that now. Doesn't matter how nice it tastes, doesn't matter if it's my favourite chocolate, if it's not the one I was expecting, I can't eat it now. And I think it does play into being autistic, because obviously it's like a sensory thing, like I need to know what's coming. You know, for a lot of people, that's why we like personally, I eat a lot of plain noodles, because it's going to be the same every single time. Whereas if you're having blueberries, for example, some of them are squishy and some of them are hard and some of them are bigger and some of them are juicy and some of them are kind of dry, you know, like they're all different. And I can deal with that because I'm expecting it from blueberries. I know that they're all going to be a bit different and they're all going to be a bit weird. And I just sort of know that and I'm okay with it. But when things like, say, when I've purchased vegan chicken wings, one of them might be a completely different texture to the other, or a slightly different taste, like this one's more seasoned, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I've completely gone off this now. Is it autism or am I just weird? And finally, I haven't done this at all in many years, and I don't know why I would. I think it's probably one of my earliest childhood memories, is that between, oh god, I must have been maybe between the ages of like 5 and 7, maybe. I was really young, like I was a little kid. I'd get sent to bed with a roll of toilet paper because I had like just a chronically snotty nose, and a water bottle, like just filled with water, so I had something to drink through the night and didn't have to get up. And I'd wait for my parents to go to sleep in their room, and then I'd get up and I'd get my toilet paper, I'd get my water bottle, and I'd just get like a bowl of toilet paper in my hand and wet it and then splat it down. And then I'd start adding new bits of toilet paper until I had moulded this little damp toilet paper bowl, which I'd then put on the shelf at the end of my bed to dry. And this was like a project for me. It was a running project for me. Every night my parents would go to bed and I'd get my little bowl and I'd build up the edges with some new wet toilet paper, and I'd get these like chunky big fucking like weird ass paper mache-esque bowls, and then my mum would notice it and be like, what the fuck's this? And I'd be like, I don't know, and she'd bin it, and then I'd just start again. I really don't know what it was. I just really enjoyed it. I liked the texture of it, I guess. I guess I felt like I was making something secret for myself. I really don't know. I don't know what I was doing. I just really liked making my little toilet paper bowls. I think I kind of felt like I'd like discovered something new. I was like, did you know you can like make paper into other things? Like obviously I was super young, so it's not that weird that I would think that. But I just don't know why I even started it. I don't know why I did it consistently for a really long time. I remember like at least 4 or 5 times my mum being like, what is this? What have you done? And just being like, I don't know, I guess like I've blown my nose and it's just sort of happened. And she knew it hadn't, but she like didn't want to push me, I guess. So we'd just pretend it was normal. But the question once again is it autism or am I just weird? And that's the last time we're asking that. Those are all the weird things you're getting about me today. I really hope someone out there relates. It'd be great if someone related. And since I'm sharing the deepest, weirdest parts of my soul, it'd be really nice if you wanted to like this video, subscribe to my channel. We've hit 1,000 now, which I've already said in other videos, but it's insane and crazy, and thank you so much. I've got a Ko-fi if you wanted to donate to buy me a coffee. I hate bringing that one up, but I feel like I should. So I have. But whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I'll see you in another video in a few days.